Hello friends, welcome back. My name is Rutucha. In this video, I will talk about my internship and project we have developed during my internship. First of all, my project name. My project name is Core Payment System. Core Payment System is based on microservices architecture. First of all, let us understand what is microservices architecture. Microservices architecture is an architectural style to designing a huge project or okay. So before microservices architecture, when we have to design a web application, let's say this is the web application. To design this web application, we have to code all the features. Let's say these are the various features of that web application. Before microservice architecture, we have to code all the features in one single project. In this architectural style, if any exception or any error happened in one feature, then we have to check it and fix it. After that, we have to compile entire project, and after that we have to execute entire project, and then we will deploy this entire project. So these things is very time consuming and not a good practice. After that, the microservices architecture, we will talk about microservices architecture. Let's say we have to create an website. In our website there are few features, as we have said, there are few features here. Let's say there are few features we have to develop in our web application. Let's say these features are order management, another is payment processing, customer management, etc. So in microservices architecture, this entire website we cut it in small pieces, and individually we code that features, we test that features, we debug that features. After that, we will deploy that features independently, so that if any problem occurred in one feature, then it will never cause any problem to the another features or our website. So this functionality provides the microservices architecture. Using microservices architecture, it is very easy to maintain a feature. So this is the microservices approach. In my project itself, my project name is core payment system. In my project itself, there are three microservices. First one is payment validation service, second one is a payment processing service, and this type integration service, I will name it also. Okay, so first one is payment validation service. Second one is payment processing service, and third one is Stripe integration. So these three are the microservices are there in my actual project. These three microservices combinedly makes core payment system. Okay, so in my project I have used some technical stack, that is my programming language I have used, that is Java. I have used Java for coding this project. After that, I have used STS that is a Spring tool suite. Other tools I have used that are Postman, JSON. These are the other tools which I have used. I have used some version control tool also. These version control tool are Git, Bitbucket and SourceTree. After that, I have used some uh, agile methodology. In agile I have used we have used Scrum in agile. After that, our project is based on microservices architecture. For testing we have used unit testing, mocking, code coverage, etc. After that, for async communication we have used ActiveMQ. Our project is based on microservices architecture. Our project is based on microservices architecture. We use frameworks that are Spring Boot and Spring Boot JDBC. Also, we have used AWS. In AWS, we have used EC2, RDS, Secret Manager. These services we have used from Amazon Web Services platform. Okay, so our application is the REST API. Our application is based on RESTful API. So this is all about this is about the project technical stack we have used. After that, we will talk about another things related to project. So basically, there are several there are some famous e-commerce website. um, Basically my project is useful for e-commerce website for managing money related stuff. So basically there are famous e-commerce website, let's say Amazon, Flipkart, Myntra, etc. are the famous website for shopping. Customer go to these website and purchase something. In this website there is a huge traffic daily. So to manage all the money related things, these websites need a payment system. So Basically, let's say this is the e-commerce website. In e-commerce website, customer come to purchase something. After choosing a product, customer will go to the another web page for giving the address for shipping that product. After that, customer will be ready for making payment. For making payment, customer will be redirected to the another web page, that is payment hosting web page. From e-commerce, customer will be redirected to the payment hosting page. Okay, so this is happened uh, with the e-commerce website. Let us understand few things here. After clicking on the hosted after going to the payment hosted page, customer make payment, then money will be deducted from customer's account, and that money will go to the e-commerce website's bank account. After that, e-commerce website will send that money after deducting its commission to the actual seller of that product. Okay, so here we will understand what is pay in and pay out. Let us say this is our customer, or we will call it a buyer. This is our buyer, this is our e-commerce website, and this is the seller. Okay, so this is the buyer's bank account, this is the e-commerce bank account, and this is the seller's bank account. Okay, I will draw it first. Here I will write pay in and pay out. Okay, so after purchasing a product, money will be deducted from buyers, and this money will be go to the e-commerce website's bank account, that is pay in. After that, e-commerce website will deduct its commission, and that money it will send to the seller's account, so that is pay out. Okay, so this is all about pay in and pay out. Okay, uh, after that, let us understand more about my project using a diagram. Okay, so this I will draw here. Okay, so this is the e-commerce. This is my this is our payment service. In our payment service, there is payment validation, payment processing, and Stripe integration. Okay, so basically here we have discussed that customer will be redirected to the hosting payment page. So in India there are multiple PSPs. PSPs means payment service providers. In India there are famous PSPs that are pay that are Phone Pay, Google Pay, Paytm, etc. Like that, in other countries there are other famous PSPs that are Stripe, PayPal, Trustly, etc. So in our project we have used a Stripe. Uh, in our project we have integrated Stripe. So basically this is the Stripe provider. Okay, in our payment processing service, I will name it for better understanding. Okay, so let's say this is the e-commerce website, and this is the payment system. This is payment validation service. This is the payment processing service, and this is the Stripe integration or Stripe provider. Okay, so what happens here? E-commerce will give us order information and it will call our service. It will call the payment system. After that, in payment validation service, we will check all the authentication all the authorization related things like card details, card expiry, uh, user authentication, etc. things we will take care here. After that, payment validation will call payment processing service for moving further. After that, payment processing service will call Stripe integration, and payment processing service will provide all the order information to the Stripe. After that, here I will draw, this is our PSP, that is a Stripe. So here e-commerce website will send request to our payment system. Our payment system will validate all the information, all the details about user and payment, etc. After that, our payment processing service will process that payment. Now the payment is in created state. After that, our Stripe integration service will call Stripe provider, Now Stripe provider will respond back. In this response, there is a JSON string, that is a ID. That ID is the unique transaction ID of the user that is created in Stripe's system. Along with that ID, there is some information about the payment or the order, and in the end there is a URL. That URL is Stripe hosted payment page URL. So after that, after receiving that URL, our customer will be redirected to the Stripe hosting payment page. In Stripe's payment page, our customer will fill all the information related to card. After filling all the information, customer will click on pay. After clicking on pay, if the payment is successful, then this Stripe gives us some webhooks. These webhooks are some messages related to uh, result of that payment or result of the transaction. Okay, so this is the workflow. First of all, payment validation after payment validation, call the payments processing service. Payment status will now in created state. After that, Stripe integration service will call Stripe provider, and Stripe provider will give us the URL. After that, our payment state will be changed from created to initiated. After that, our customer will redirected to the Stripe hosted payment page. If payment is successful, then the payment status will be changed from initiated to success. And if our customer is not doing any payment, or our customer will go back from the hosted payment page, then the uh, payment status will change from initiated to pending state. Now uh, we will now we cannot keep it open for a very long time. We give a 30-minute time for our customer to retry the payment. within 30 minutes, if our customer will retry the payment, then we change the status, or if not, then we will call the uh, expire API call, and after calling the expire API call, our payment will be in failed status. Now this is the scenario for a pending status. If our customer go back to the hosted payment page, and there is some issue related to their card number, or any bank related issue, then in that case, if our payment is failed, then Stripe will provide webhooks related to failed status, and we will make the payment status from initiated to failed. At the end, our payment status should have should have in one of the two status, that is success and failed. If our pay if we make a transaction status as sorry, if we assume our transaction status is in success, then we will not modify it and make it failed. And if we have said our transaction is failed, then afterward we will not make it successful. Okay, so at the end we have to make our payment successful if payment is actually successful. And if payment is pending, we will give 30 minutes for our customer to retry payment. Within 30 minutes, if customer will not making payment, then we will move it from pending to failed. And if there is a customer's bank related issue or card related issue, because of that payment is failed, so that we will move payment status to failed. Okay, so this is the scenario. Now we will understand what is Stripe. Okay, so here we will understand what is Stripe. Well, Stripe is a payment service provider. We have discussed it earlier. So Stripe provides some feature. Stripe provides us a feature for making payment. Stripe is used for any e-commerce website, small or large, whatever it is. Anyone can use Stripe. Stripe provide Stripe. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, so Stripe provide Stripe API for connecting our e-commerce to the Stripe system. Stripe also provide Stripe CLI. Stripe CLI is a command line interface. Using Stripe CLI, we can check what webhooks Stripe is providing us for our transaction. Okay, so using Stripe API, we make request to Stripe. These requests are CRUD request. So CRUD, let us understand what is CRUD. CRUD stands for create, read, update and delete. Okay, so basically we make a HTTP request to Stripe. Okay, so basically HTTP request, that is post request, is used for create. Get request is used for read, and for update we use put, and for delete we use delete request. So these are the CRUD request. We can use it using for that we are using Postman. So Postman is a tool for making API integration. Okay, so Stripe CLI. Basically Stripe CLI Stripe CLI is a command line interface. Using Stripe CLI, we will see what webhooks we receive from Stripe system. Okay, so there is a Stripe documentation available on the internet. We analyze the Stripe documentation, and uh, we, we analyze these Stripe documentation, and we make some conclusion based on that Stripe documentation. Okay, so using Stripe documentation, we understood the checkout session. We use this checkout session for making request to the Stripe. So basically we will understand request and response of a Stripe. So for making request to the Stripe, we have to use URL encoded format. Stripe take request in the form of URL encoded form and response. Okay, so Stripe gives response in the form of JSON strings. Okay, so in Postman we have to uh, provide request in the form of URL encoded form, and uh, after the processing of request, Stripe will provide response in the form of JSON. In this JSON string, Stripe provide us a ID. So in JSON response, Stripe provide us some important parameters, some important strings, that is ID, some order information which we have provided in a Stripe request. Along with the Stripe providers a payment status and URL. This ID is unique ID which is generated on a Stripe's payment page. Stripe's system. Okay, so and after that the order information. And this order information which we have already given to the Stripe in the form of request, that is product name, quantity, price, etc. things. After that, payment status and status are two important parameters. Payment status can be paid or unpaid. Okay, so payment payment status can be paid or unpaid, and status can be open, completed, or expire. In JSON response, Stripe give us a URL. Okay, so after clicking on that URL, we will move to the Stripe's hosted payment page. In Stripe hosted payment page, our customer make the payment. If payment is successful, then the payment status will be paid and status will be completed. If payment is failed, then the payment status will be unpaid and open. Okay, so basically if our customer went to the payment hosted page and customer changed the mood, and now customer don't want to buy the product, or anything happened, let's say internet connection is slow, or customer go somewhere, whatever thing happened, moral of the story is customer didn't make the payment. Okay, so in that case our payment status, our transaction status will be in pending state. So uh, our transaction status will be pending and payment status will be unpaid and status is open. So we cannot keep it open for long time. We give customer 30 minutes to retry the payment. Within 30 minutes, if customer retry the payment and then and then payment is successful, then payment status will be paid and status will be completed. If again within 30 minutes payment is still pending, then we will call the expire session. This expire session is the feature of a Stripe. We will call the expire session. After calling the expire session, payment status will be unpaid and status will be expired. Okay, so now we will understand the Stripe's checkout flow. For that, I will open a diagram here. Okay, so this is the Stripe checkout flow diagram. Here we will read this. When customers are ready to complete their purchase, your application create a new checkout session. The checkout session provides a URL that redirects customer to a Stripe hosted payment page. Customer enter their payment details on payment page and complete the transaction. After the transaction, a webhook fulfill the order using the checkout.session.completed event. So here in below diagram we will understand it. uh, okay, so this is the client server Stripe API and checkout, Stripe checkout. So in our e-commerce website, customer want to buy that product, so that our e-commerce website will send the order information to the Stripe. This order information can be quantity, currency, product name, price, etc. things. Using this order information, we make a post request to Stripe API, that is create checkout session. After that post request, Stripe give us a response, that is return checkout session. Stripe give us response in the form of JSON string. In that JSON string, Stripe gives us a token, that is ID, that is a unique transaction ID which is generated in Stripe system. And along with that, Stripe gives us a URL of its hosted payment page. After clicking on that URL, redirect customer to URL from checkout session. After clicking on that URL, our customer will be redirected to the Stripe's checkout page. Now customer completes the payment here by filling all the transaction details. After payment is completed, customer returns to our application. And after that, based on the transaction based on the transaction, our Stripe API provides the webhooks. If payment is successful, then Stripe provide checkout.session.completed event. If payment is failed, then Stripe provide other webhooks related to failed scenario. Okay, so this is all about the Stripe checkout flow. And here our customer is redirected to hosted payment page, but customer is not making payment or anything happened. We will keep open the status for 30 minutes. After that, we will call the expire session API, and after calling that session, our status will be in expired mode now, and Stripe API will provide webhooks related to say expire session. Okay, so this is all about Stripe checkout flow. Now we will understand end-to-end payment flow. So this is the client browser, this is our payment system, and this is PSP, that is Stripe. Okay, so first of all, checkout page. E-commerce website will give us the order information. Using that order information, we make a post request to the Stripe. After that, here we can read create checkout, create a payment with nonce. After that, Stripe provide us a token, return payment token. This token means a unique ID which is generated in a Stripe system. This ID we will store in our database. After that, display PSP's payment page with token. In JSON response, Stripe gives us the URL of hosted payment page. we will now open the hosted payment page for our client, and in that page our client start the payment. After the transaction completed, Stripe provides us the payment result, and based on that payment result, Stripe redirect to completion page. Now our customer is redirected to the payment completion page. After that, Stripe provide us the webhooks with the completion result to our payment system. Okay, so this is the all about payment flow happening in Stripe. First of all, uh, e-commerce website will request for checkout. It will call our payment system. After that, we will give order information to Stripe and make post request. After that, Stripe provide us the ID and URL. After getting it, we will store the ID in database, and clicking and using that URL, we will open the hosted payment page. Our customer will redirect it to that hosted payment page and start the payment. After payment is successful, Stripe after payment is successful, then customer will now redirected to the completion page, and after that Stripe will provide the webhooks with the completion result. Okay, so this is all about payment flow, and this is all about my entire this is all about our entire project. Okay, thank you so much.